in the northernmost reaches of the world, beyond the last tree and the final howl of the wind, lay a kingdom made of silence and snow. There, in a palace sculpted from glaciers older than time, ruled Queen Isolde, the Ice Queen. Her crown was made of frozen starlight, and her voice, when rarely spoken, echoed like wind through a canyon. They said her heart had been frostbitten long ago, and now beat no more. Isolde ruled alone. No visitors came, no birds sang. Her court was a council of shadows and snowflakes. Once, centuries ago, she had loved, a story whispered only by the snowdrifts. But when he died, her grief froze the skies themselves. Since then, she allowed no warmth in her realm, no color, no life. But then came the boy. His name was Kai, a wandering artist from the edge of the world. He was 17, with wind-bitten cheeks and calloused hands from holding pencils too tightly. He had seen a falling star one night while sitting on the roof of his village home, and something in its descent called to him. "Go north," it seemed to whisper. "There's magic still breathing in the snow." So Kai walked, farther and farther north, guided only by auroras and instinct, sketching what he saw. Wolves silhouetted against ice cliffs, lonely pine trees wrapped in frost, and finally, the looming shape of a palace that shimmered like moonlight, caught in a prism. But the cold was deeper than he expected. As he reached the forest that guarded the palace gates, he collapsed, the frost creeping up his boots like vines, trying to claim him for the deep sleep of winter. From her balcony of ice, Queen Isolde watched. Usually such travelers perished. She let them. The wind would cover their bodies, the snow would take their names. But this one, this boy, he clutched a worn book to his chest even as he shivered. A drawing pad, a sketch of her palace peeking from between the pages. Something stirred, something small, something ancient. She descended like a snowstorm, quiet, inevitable. When she reached him, Kai, half-conscious, blinked up at her through the frost on his lashes. "Are you the one who catches stars?" He whispered. "No one catches stars," she said, her voice like glass chimes. "They fall, they die." He smiled faintly. "That's what people say about heart, but mine still beats." Isolde should have turned away. She should have let the cold finish what it started. But she didn't. She carried him into the palace. Days of silence and snow. When Kai awoke, it was to a room of blue crystal and soft furs, a fireplace that flickered with ghostly white flames. At first, she didn't speak to him. She watched, from the shadows, like the moon watches the tide. Kai, weak but undeterred, began to draw. The walls, the icicles that chimed when the wind blew, the patterns on her floor, so intricate they looked, like frozen lace. He drew with what little pencil remained. He drew her, what little he glimpsed. The curve of her braid, the frost clinging to her gown, her silhouette against the light. One day, when she finally approached, he handed her a "Page, you never smile," he said, "but I think you would look beautiful if you did." She stared at the drawing. She was laughing in it, eyes crinkled, cheeks flushed. "I never laugh," she said flatly. "Not yet," he replied. She meant to send him away the next morning. Yet the morning came, and she didn't. Warming the ice day after day, Kai sketched. In return, she began to speak. Short questions, observations. Over time, they turned into stories about the star he chased, about the ocean he once saw, about the color of fire. She listened, and then she shared. About her lost love, the betrayal, the winter that never ended. He never pitied her. Instead, he told her the cold didn't make her less, just different. "Snow," he said once, "is just another kind of quiet beauty." One night, he drew a picture of her standing in a field of roses, sunlight braided through her hair, birds on her shoulders. "You've made me into someone I'm not," she said, voice tight. "No," he answered gently. "I've drawn who you could be." She stood silent for a long while. Then tears formed in her eyes. The first tear slid down her cheek, leaving behind a trail of warmth. When it fell to the ground, it melted the ice beneath them. Where it landed, a single snowdrop flower grew, tiny, white, and trembling. Isolde gasped. It had been 100 years since anything had bloomed. A new season. That spring, the world changed. The skies softened. The ice cracked in joy, not anger. The trees began to hum with sap, and birds returned, singing unfamiliar songs. Word spread of a thaw in the north, of rivers running again beneath mountain ice, and in the heart of it, the ice. Queen and the boy who drew stars walked together. Him sketching the world's return to life. Her hand no longer cold in his. She was still the Ice Queen, still sharp, still made of frost and clarity, but she had learned to let warmth live beside the cold, to let stories be told again, to let spring visit, even if just for a while. And the stars? Some say Kai caught one after all, not with his hands but with his heart.